200, which is 8 times the max limit.
With 7 monsters?
I can tell she don't know where she going. I can tell she don't know where she going. I can tell she don't know where she going. Cause she foreign. I can tell she don't know where she going. I can tell she don't know where she going. I can tell she don't know where she going. Cause she foreign.
Welcome back, YouTube. It's your boy back with another one. Today's video for me watching on some. Well, oh baby, I'm going on editing, but look, guys, it's complicated, bro. Alright, everyone can need. So,
Trap glance over.
Alright, let's do it.
Sonder, you're sitting in traffic and you glance over at the car next to you. There's just some random person in there tapping their fingers on the wheel, completely in their own world. And for a second, it hits you. That person
What?
has an entire life, a childhood, a set of fears, an argument they've been replaying all week, a favorite song, people they love, a whole story that's just as long and complicated as yours. And you'll drive away and never know a single thing about any of it.
Right.
That feeling is called Sonder.
Bro, y'all have never drunk a day in my life, but I could tell you I've never experienced this a day in my life. I'm just gonna keep it sad with y'all.
It's that moment when you realize that every single person around you is living a life that's just as full and real as yours. It sounds obvious when you say it out loud, but really feeling it is something different. It usually hits in crowded places. Train stations, busy streets, airports. Your brain tries to actually grasp that every face you see is a whole person, and then it kind of gives up because the scale is too much. It's one of those feelings that's hard to describe as either good or bad.
Who the f is that?
Probably know what nostalgia feels like. That warm, slightly sad pull, a version of it that goes a step further, where you're not just missing a time, you're missing a place, or a feeling, or a version of your life that doesn't exist anymore. And the hard part is that even if the place still exists, the thing you're actually missing doesn't. You can go back, but it won't be the same. In Welsh, they call this Hyrith. It's a longing for home, but a home you can't return to, or maybe one that never quite existed the way you remember it. Welsh speakers will tell you it genuinely doesn't translate into English. Not because they're being dramatic, but because we really don't have a word for it.
I'm saying, you never heard you use that more. I heard nostalgia. It's so fair you missing a whole entire place. Now this is so real. Don't lie, we all have. So like whatever. I gotta make my face real quick. Cool.
People feel it in their childhood neighborhood after it changes. For the early days of a relationship. For a summer that felt like it would last forever. There's a grief to it. Even though technically nothing bad happened, things just moved on, and somewhere in that gap, Period lives. Limerence. You know that phase early on with someone you like, where your brain basically stops working? You've had maybe 2 real conversations with this person, but you've already thought about them an embarrassing number of times. You check your phone more than you want to admit. When they do message, there's this little rush that doesn't make sense, given how little you actually know them.
I'm saying, this is so real. Who can't allow this happening to one of y'all? See, you're nonchalant out there, it's happening to you. I don't care how nonchalant you are, it's happening to you.
Not just a crush. A psychologist named Dorothy Tennant studied the 70s and gave it a name, limerence. What makes it different from just liking someone is how involuntary it is. You're not choosing to think about them constantly. Your brain is just doing it, over and over, and it doesn't stop until it gets the information it's looking for. Because the real thing limerence is after is reciprocation. It's not just about the person, it's about whether they feel it too. Every small thing they do gets read into. A fast reply means something. A slow one means something else. The moment the uncertainty disappears, either they like you back or they don't, the feeling tends to fade pretty quickly, which tells you a lot about what it actually was. Canopsia. There's something specific.
What? Is it a fast-moving object?
Unsettling about a place built for people when the people are gone. A school during summer break. An office on a Sunday evening. A stadium an hour after the game ended. Cups still on the floor, lights still on. These places were designed for crowds. The chairs, the signs, the layout. All of it assumes people are supposed to be there. And when they're not, something feels off in a way.
The airport feels so weird.
It's hard to explain. That's canopsia. The eerie feeling you get in an abandoned place that used to be full of life. What makes it different from just being in an empty room is that you can feel the absence. If you'd never known the place was full, it would just be a room. But because you know what it's supposed to be, the emptiness has a texture to it. People get the same feeling from old social media profiles that haven't been touched in years, or home videos of people who have since died. The structure is still there. The person isn't. And that gap creates something genuinely strange. Chrysalism. There's a reason so many people say they love rainy days, and it's more specific than just liking the look of rain. When it's properly pouring outside, loud enough to hear, bad enough that going out would be miserable, and you're inside, warm, with nowhere to be, something shifts. The outside world and all its demands becomes physically unreachable, and in that, there's a kind of permission to stay put, to not deal with anything, to just exist where you are.
Bro, you cannot lie. Some of these you have, some of these that you haven't. It's kind of crazy.
This is
Chrysalism, using these hard words for the most simplest things, bro. This is chrysalism. Just call it stay putalism, bro. Like, what the
There's a chrysalis, the cocoon a butterfly lives in before it emerges. It's that specific feeling of being sealed off from the world in a way that feels safe rather than trapped. What makes it work is the contrast. The noise of the storm outside is actually part of what makes the warmth inside feel so good. Your brain registers the difference and relaxes. That's the feeling. It's why some people will crack a window just to hear the rain better. Bellicor. Used bookshops have an atmosphere.
They don't literally crack a window. They will lift out the thing. So y'all know they're not literally cracking a window. Stupid.
It's hard to put your finger on. It's not just the smell of old paper, though that's part of it. It's something about the objects themselves. The fact that every book on those shelves has already had a life before it ended up here. Someone bought it, maybe read it cover to cover, maybe didn't, left a receipt inside as a bookmark, or underlined something that meant something to them at the time, and then for whatever reason, it got let go. And now it's here, available again, waiting for someone new. Bellicor is the word for that feeling. The quiet,
Oh, nah, bro. Oh, I'm not remembering any of this.
sad atmosphere of used bookshops and secondhand stores. Places full of objects that used to belong to someone's life and now don't. There's a melancholy to it, but it's not a heavy one. It's more like a soft reminder that time passes, things change hands, and the world is full of small histories you could spend a lifetime discovering. Monocopsis. You're at a party or a work event or some gathering where everyone seems comfortable and the conversation is flowing. And you're fine. You're talking to people, you're smiling, nothing is technically wrong. But there's this low-level, constant feeling that you're slightly off. Not unwelcome. More like a piece that doesn't quite fit the puzzle it's been placed in. Monocopsis is the word for that.
Stop using these words. It's coming up with these. What do I call this? The aircopsius. Like, what the fuck?
Subtle, persistent feeling of being out of place. What makes it different from just being shy is that it doesn't really go away once you relax or warm up. It's more like something about your frequency doesn't match the room, and no amount of adjusting closes the gap.
This is why you just troll, bro.
People who feel this regularly tend to have the same quiet thought underneath it all. That somewhere there's a room they'd walk into and it would just work. Where fitting in would be effortless. Where they'd stop noticing the gap. Most of us spend a decent amount of our lives looking for that room. Mauerbauer Traurigkeit. This one comes from German, which should surprise nobody.
Bro. Bro. You came out to the most hardest word. You remember that? I'm called the NT.
Given the length of the word and the precision of what it describes. Someone reaches out to you. A friend, a family member. Someone who genuinely wants to spend time with you and hasn't done anything wrong. And something in you just closes. You make an excuse, say you're busy, put it off. And then you sit alone. Which is technically what you chose, but it doesn't feel good either. Mauerbauer Traurigkeit, roughly the wall builder's sadness, is that. The urge to push people away even when you don't really want to. What makes it different from just needing alone time is the involuntary quality of it. It feels more like a reflex than a decision. And then there's the loneliness that follows. The particular kind that's hard to complain about because on Amoya, you find a book of old photographs or stumble on some footage of a city street from the 1970s or watch an old home video with those washed out colors and the slightly wrong aspect ratio. And you feel this pull toward it. A longing for that time, that look, that pace of life, which doesn't make much logical sense because you weren't there. You have no memories of it. There's no real reason to miss something you never had. And yet the feeling is real and it's pretty common. It's called anemoia, nostalgia for a time you've never known. The reason
Bro,
that happens is pretty
come on now.
straightforward. Old media only shows you the good stuff. The photos that got kept were the nice ones. The footage that survives tends to be celebrations and ordinary days that someone thought were worth recording. You're not seeing what it was actually like to live then. You're seeing the highlight reel, filtered through an aesthetic that now feels warm and familiar. What you're really longing for is probably simplicity, and the past just happens to be the easiest place to project that onto. Oculism. Usually when you're tired or staring at the sky too long, you get this sudden uncomfortable sense of how small you are. There are 8 billion people on this planet right now, all doing something. The universe is so large the numbers stop meaning anything. You are one person in one place in one tiny window of time in a history that goes back billions of years. And
Bro, I don't think it's small. Like, this started to hurt my eyes, bro. I don't get a headache from looking at the sky. I'm too tired now.
somehow, the thing you said at work last Thursday is taking up most of your brain right now. That feeling is called oculism, the awareness of how small your experience is compared to the actual scale of everything. Some people find it freeing, like the pressure comes off when nothing matters that much in the big picture. Others find it unsettling, like the floor briefly disappearing. Most people find it both, depending on the day. Either way, it tends to show up uninvited and leave on its own schedule. Onism. You're going to live one life,
On-ism.
one timeline, one body, one sequence of days. And at some point, that becomes very real to you. Every choice you make is also a choice not to make 100 others. Every city you live in is a city you picked over dozens you didn't. Every path you take closes off paths you won't. The life you're building is, by definition, being built at the cost of every other version you could have had. Onism is the frustration of being stuck in just one place and one life. The quiet awareness of how much you're missing simply by being here, living this version, rather than any of the other ones that were technically
Technically, it's kind of crazy.
available to you. It tends to show up when you're reading about a place you'll probably never visit, or watching a documentary about a completely different kind of life and feeling the gap. The
Damn, bro. Lebra.
internet has probably made this worse. You've never had such easy access to evidence of all the lives you're not living. Every corner of human experience is one click away, which is incredible, and also sometimes a lot to sit with. Because no matter what you choose, you're always aware of everything you didn't.
Oh, yeah. Go here. Alright, yep. On to the next one, Jizzy's energy drink crisis. Be back, boys. I didn't say peace in the last one, so you know what I'm saying. Yup, let's do it. Yeah, let's just get into it.
Coffee has been around for nearly 500 to 600 years. And you could
Coffee.
argue it's probably one of the most successful drugs ever released to society. People's whole civilizations built off these damn beans. Of course, when coffee wasn't hitting hard enough, they had to make a teeny tiny subtle switch to cocaine news production. Hey, we can say what we want
Dave, bro, that's no though.
about it, but you can't tell me they wasn't handling with swiftness from the 70s to 80s, which was at the time in the US when things were at their most affordable. But sadly, that became illegal, so eventually they found a brand new, totally not harmful at all product to replace it: energy drinks. And slowly over time, especially since the 2000s, they become more and more popular every year, with Gen Z now leading the chart as the group who consumes the most energy drinks. And I'm not gonna lie,
I'm saying, bro, did y'all hear about the one girl that died? 2 energy drinks? Yes. She died off 3 Alanis. She was drinking 3 Alanis every single day. She died at 17, which is very sad, but that's crazy, man. These energy drinks, my dog. I think it was the new version, the new, something like NU. That's stupid, bro.
according to studies,
Her heart grew like times bigger though, so like she from like so, but
nowadays 75 to 80% say they drink them regularly, and older generations drink them the least. But to be fair, that doesn't mean older generations don't have caffeine. They just have coffee a lot more than energy drinks. I can give boomers credit on that though. They can manage their caffeine a lot better than us. Even destroying the world's economies, causing wars for no reason, being selfish and on younger generations for a world they created, and saying just buy a house like I did for 2 pennies and a handshake, seems like they've gotten
2 pennies in a handshake. That is so true.
As someone who's started having energy drinks and pre-workout around 4 years ago when I turned 19. Not gonna lie, it was mainly because I started going to the gym and wanted to get the best gains. Caffeine addiction.
That's crazy, dog.
Addiction is probably top 5 addictions this generation has right now. And especially when I started having it more, I can understand why it's hard for some people to stop. Because just like all other stimulants, you end up getting a tolerance to it and needing more. For some people, it's bad. It can get to the point where if you have it too much, days you don't have it will give you headaches. And some people even throw up because their body needs it. Which is why you should always keep it balanced and have some break
Ew. Lucky.
days a week where you don't have caffeine.
I'm saying?
At least 2 days in a week. But even then, with people having it, one thing I didn't realize because I did research before I started having it is how many people don't know the limits and drink over it a day.
You got Prime, Bang. Ghost is good. I'm not gonna lie. Ghost is good. Celsius. I'll have had Bang in a little minute. Riot, Region. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, you got your Lotties, bro. And you got your C4s.
Yeah, the World Health Organization say you should have a max of 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, which is already a lot. For reference, that's having 4 cups of coffee a day, 10 cans of soda, or 2 cans of 200 milligram energy drinks.
Dang. You're wild. Okay, I had overnight. No. I haven't had that much energy drinks, bro.
But even with this being clear public information, people will casually brag online that they have double that amount or even more. Like, you're just admitting to overdosing on social media in 2026.
I'm saying.
That's what you're doing.
How much caffeine do you drink per day? 1,000 milligrams, which is 1 gram, which is 10% of lethal dose. What's your 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day like? I started the day out with 4 shots of espresso. I mixed that with 2 protein shakes. That's about 256 grams of caffeine. Later in the day, I have a pre-workout before I hit the gym. This one. And then I'll probably either have another one of these later in the day for my second workout or 4 more shots of espresso. Do you have a pre-workout thing?
Man, like, get a little aura going somewhere, bro. Yo, I wanted ordering for, like, the longest. But it's, like, I'm not paying.
What is the most amount of caffeine, milligrams of caffeine you've had in one day? And how did it make you feel? Me, my all-time high is 750 milligrams in one day.
True.
And I remember, so I had 2 Reigns, so that's 600 right there. And then I had, I think, like 2 or 3 Diet Cokes. So that got me up to like
The comment section of this video is worse too. Somebody said 3,200, which is 8 times the max limit.
With 7 monsters?
Just 4 times the
This, bro.
max limit. Funniest thing about this is having all this caffeine is actually going to make it work worse for you.
Y'all also are
Yo, where you at right now?
crew.
Already ready?
Yeah.
Nah, we had conditioning. We was in the weight room. I was gonna see if you could come watch the rest of the soccer game with me.
Alright.
What that mean?
I don't know, man.
Alright, yeah.
Right.
Daddy.
Cannot be so sneaky.
You're just bringing up your tolerance to the point of having one energy drink is going to give you 0 effect on your body. So
I'm saying.
addicted for almost having the limit every day. There's levels to this shit, and you at level 2. Obviously, the main problem with having
That you at level 1.
that much is you risk having a heart attack at any moment. Your heart can only handle so much stimulation before it pops. There was a sad case recently of someone in Gen Z passing away from having too
That's exactly what I was talking about.
much caffeine. This 17-year-old girl named Larissa Rodriguez was having energy drinks a lot from a specific brand called Alani. Now, at her age, even though it's not recommended to have energy drinks under 18, as a teenager, the max you're supposed to have if you do is 100 milligrams a day. And the Alani has 200 milligrams, so we're already starting off bad. On October 20th, 2025, she sadly passed away from a heart attack after having them. Although it's not
Yeah, I forgot it was a heart attack. That's my bad.
exactly confirmed how many she was having a day. People are speculating it was way more than the limit because you don't pass away at that age without really putting pressure on your body. You saw that TikTok comment section. There was committing to having absurd amounts and even they didn't pass away. The biggest thing going around was that she was having 6 of them a day, which would be 1,200 milligrams a day. 3 times the daily limit, by the way, for an adult. And if that's really true, it's so crazy how people don't check the limits of shit.
I'm saying.
The fact that no one in her life told her she has to stop having that much because it's gonna make her die faster is crazy. If I had 1,200 milligrams of caffeine a day, I'd probably be able to run around the whole world 3 times.
Right, you know, like, you girls do not give up, bro. They are so addicted. I'm telling you, like, you tell them to hop off, they gonna hop back on. Pause. It's just
We definitely got used to it, which is the problem. And now our family's trying to sue the company, saying they didn't have enough warnings about excess caffeine use, even though it says it right on the can. Or
now recommend for children, people sensitive to caffeine, pregnant women, or women who are in nursing.
you could search up the health facts online and instantly know the limits. Rest in peace to her, obviously. Tragic death, but this lawsuit is not going to go anywhere. This would be the equivalent of someone who died from alcohol poisoning suing the beer company for giving them that much alcohol. Also, what the f were the parents? They should have especially asked her about her energy drink habits since she was having so much. My mom to this day still gets on my ass for having any type of caffeine, and I'm not gonna lie, she's right. Low-key, in general, no one should be having caffeine preferably. The tolerance comes up no matter what, even if you drink coffee. But if you are gonna be drinking it like most people in the world do, you should at least be hitting the limit max and not going higher. It also doesn't help that energy drinks have turned into a hobby for people. Like, why does it have to be a hobby, man? TikTok is ruined doing any type of thing. You have people show off their collections of energy drinks like they're a car collector. They can point out every single chemical compound in each drink like they're Walter White.
Holy.
This is an expensive hobby. I don't know how they're getting all these different types of cans. Okay, well, not like being a car collector, but a 12-pack energy drink is usually like 30 bucks. It adds up. The closer you are to them, the more you're gonna want to drink it. So it's probably not the best idea if you already take a lot of caffeine now to stack up on it. Energy drinks won't be calling your name midday like the Green Goblin mask. Now, in defense of all this caffeine consumption, because one may wonder why Gen Z has so much,
I don't know, man. Because they want to.
it's a couple of reasons. One being currently in college, and since you're studying a lot more, you need more energy, hence the energy drinks. Every generation has had their things for colleges. Back then, it was taking out your stress on a cigarette pack, or taking coke to make the 7 a.m. test. Also going to the gym a lot more, which, like I said, is the reason I even have it on my days off I don't. If you're coming from work in a long day and want to hit the gym after, most people need a little something to pick themselves up. Another thing some people might be surprised by is partying. There's been an uprise in bars serving drinks with energy drinks intertwined, or just drinks having it themselves. Some people completely replace having alcohol with just an energy drink and go to a concert. The alcohol industry might be dead by the time we're old. They're practically begging for the youth to drink. But we have we draw the line at
Blackout.
by 30 or getting severely addicted to gambling that would lose our life savings. It could also be that statistically Gen Z right now is the most stressed generation. Whether you believe that or not, every time a generation is feeling stressed, there's always something to help with that cope. One of the other reasons for the uptick is it seems like everyone has an energy drink now. I can't even count on my hands how many celebs have come out with their own custom energy drinks. The Rock has one, Kim Kardashian has one, Logan Paul and KSI, which we all remember. Kids were getting cracked out thinking a prime energy drink was just like their apple juice, only to all of a sudden be able to bench 500 pounds 5 times in a row. Parents don't truly check on their kids anymore because how is your kid casually having caffeine at 8 years old and 10 years old and you don't even know? Even
I'm saying.
Barron Trump, Donald Trump's announced he's releasing one in May of this year. What the f does this know about energy drinks? I don't think I've even heard him talk. The only thing I want to see him do is be in them war fields for the his father started. The main problem with it is it's not like food or that doesn't affect your body too much. It's a stimulant that if you have too much, you can die from. I assume even people who don't drink caffeine, who are fans of these celebs, are gonna try their energy drinks and potentially get hooked on having them. Or may not know they can only have a certain amount before they get Fortnite eliminated. You should also only be having the energy drink in the morning or 3 p.m. max. Any later, and good luck getting any type of sleep. There's a ton of people who have permanent sleep problems every night because the amount of caffeine they consume. Caffeine has a half-life of 3 to 7 hours.
3 7. Dang.
Meaning it takes that much time to get down to half the amount in your system. And if you have like 200 milligrams at 5 p.m., you're still gonna have a cup of coffee and a half in your system by 10, extending the time it takes for you to sleep. You most likely
That is crazy.
won't be able to sleep until like 1 or 2 a.m., which for anyone in school or that has a job, that's probably gonna make life worse. Or you're gonna have the worst stage of it, having to take copious amounts of caffeine in the daytime, while at night downing a bottle of melatonin to fight it. It creates an endless cycle of you doing that until one day you either take a break, or I guess wait until you're at 900 milligrams of caffeine every day and have a heart attack in the middle of the night. To wrap it up, the main lesson of today's video, I guess, is to always remember the limits of caffeine. More and more are there cases of people either
Bro is the one.
having heart attacks or destroying their bodies over having too much. Which is why we should put cocaine back in coke bottles. Follow me on
Oh yeah.
Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Rico, this is your world.
Don't try to stop me from reaching my greatness. If you know me, then you know I'ma make it. Shawty keep phoning and calling me daily. I had to call it back, told her we can't be. Granny, I hope that I make you proud, cause all these voices, they getting too loud. I'm tryna make a new wave, a new sound. You wanna see greatness, better stick around. Gonna make it independent, okay? Even when labels start coming my way, ain't gonna make millions while I make it thousands. Ain't gonna get Uber rich with my talent.